So, for those of you who don't know, it's kind of the end of the quarter. March 31st, the end of the quarter for a lot of the, especially the S&P 500. So today's like sort of the watch. Alcoa is going to be the first one that announces their numbers today, and from then on, like Google later on in the week, different companies. So everyone's really watchful to see if the economy is bouncing back. So as you can see, the Dow is at 1287.211. That decreased. So the Nasdaq and the S&P have gone down too, and these numbers are about 10:15 this morning. To show you like over the last few hours in anticipation for the numbers, what's happened, I printed out different. They go from 11 p.m. to 9 o'clock, 11 a.m. yesterday till 9 o'clock this morning. Versus the Nasdaq, it kind of went up, but now in anticipation for today, it's dropping a little. And then we have the Dow, which you can see they're all doing pretty much the same thing, and then the S&P. So they're all waiting to see what these numbers are today when they come out. Euro, the U.S. dollar is increasing on the euro, but not by much. The 10-year bonds are still sitting around 2%. Gold is gone up a little bit. And oil, as we all know, has increased because we all see that it's at like a national average high right now. Gas is currently $3.97, the average, and that just keeps increasing. So the news stories for today, as everyone might have seen on Facebook, because it's been the huge talk on Facebook, Facebook acquired Instagram. Instagram is less than a 2-year-old company. They have 0 revenue, and they have about a dozen employees. It's paying $1 billion, the largest acquisition Facebook's ever making so far. With their $100 billion price tag on their IPO, they can obviously afford it. But what their problem is, Facebook is currently facing that everyone is now using a mobile device, and Facebook doesn't know how to gain revenue on a mobile device. So they're trying to get different. They acquired Instagram in hopes that this can expand their mobile device usage. They can figure out how to advertise with it. And Instagram has 30 million people registered, and there's 5 million pictures posted a day. It's kind of a different form of social network. People are kind of upset because they feel like now that Facebook's taken it over, it's kind of making a monopoly. Profit growth stalls European slump, hampers recovery. So Europe has caused U.S. corporate growth to stall in the last quarter. The S&P 500 is seeing a lot. 40% of the revenues produced on the S&P 500 come from international. Mostly with China's slump and the European debt crisis that's currently going on, the S&P 500 is seeing a decrease in production because of exportation. We're not exporting as much. So that's why they're really nervous, especially with Alcoa today, with all the aluminum that they produce and different more production companies, what's making everyone nervous. But however, on the home front, the U.S. economy is showing a little boost because the construction industry is going up, which means that more houses are being built. So on the home front, domestically, the S&P is doing well, but on the international front, we're kind of worried because of the European and China crisis. And they're also attributing this to the high gas prices. Oil prices have increased 4% during this quarter, which have turned around and increased gas prices by 20%. So by that sheer little 4% on oil prices, the gas prices have increased a whole 20%. And then the Consumer Bureau is releasing new rules for the mortgage industry. They're trying to show that they're trying to put more transparency into the process. On mortgage, before mortgage is put out, they want an agreement that on every statement there will be a breakdown of what amount goes to the principal, what amount goes to the interest, what amount goes to the fees, itemized fee and interest payments. And they just want more transparency in the industry so that if they're going to change an interest rate, that they go in and they tell the person beforehand why it's getting changed, how it's getting changed, how it will affect their future payments. So this will be big because it's supposed to kind of regulate the mortgage industry and hopefully keep us out of a future real estate bubble. Surplus in China trade comes as a surprise. So China had a $5.35 billion surplus with their exports this quarter, and it's because they, with the European crisis, they aren't exporting as much to them, and also their imports have decreased. Part of it is the Chinese government is trying to regulate what's going in and out because China is actually realizing a real estate bubble. So the Chinese government is regulating and making sure that people are building second and third houses. They're trying to keep people to only one home. And doing so, they're trying to deflate the real estate bubble, but meanwhile, it's causing inflation to increase a little bit, and it's also hurting their exports and imports. And last but not least, Obama's trying to introduce a Buffett rule. He's trying to show that he's trying to make every millionaire and billionaire pay 30% on their income taxes. 25% of them currently are only paying about 10% income tax, so this is his new campaign thing, and hopefully it'll help the economy, but they're saying it'll probably only generate about $5 billion a year, so they're trying to figure out how much it would help, so we'll see what happens. And thank you everyone who donated.
Thank you very much. I just want to add one new